Hi everyone. Today I will discuss very important topic in business law. Let us see what is that topic. Essentials of a valid acceptance. So here we are going to discuss what is acceptance and what are the essential elements of a valid acceptance. You already know that if you want to make any contract, there should be agreement as well as it should be enforceable by law. So agreement means offer and acceptance, both should be there. Agreement is a combination of offer as well as acceptance. So in any agreement, offer should be made first, then it should be accepted by the party. So what is acceptance? Acceptance means it is one expression. It is expression given by offeree. Offeree means he is a person to whom the offer is made. So offeree has to express his opinion, his consent to the offer. So he has to say that he is accepting the offer to the offerer. Okay, if he says yes for the offer, then we can call it as acceptance. So here offeree has to give his consent to the offer. To whom he has to express that? To the offerer. Okay, then we call it as acceptance. And there is a definition in Indian Contract Act 1872 under section 2B for acceptance. Let us see what is the definition given by the act. So here section 2B of Indian Contract Act 1872 is defining acceptance as when the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his consent, then it is called acceptance. So what is the meaning of this? When any person means to whom the offer is made, to whom the proposal is made. So we can call that party as offeree. So offeree has to signify his consent, means his expression that he is accepting. Okay, he has to give his consent. To whom he has to give consent? To the offerer. Then we can call it as acceptance. Hope this is clear for everyone. So let us go to essential elements of a valid acceptance. So if you want to call any acceptance as a valid under Indian Contract Act 1872, there are some elements to treat an acceptance as a valid. Let us see what are all those elements of a valid acceptance. First one is acceptance must be absolute and unconditional. So acceptance, who is going to accept actually? Offeree. Offeree is going to accept. So whenever he accepts it, we can also call him as an acceptor. Okay. So offeree has to give his acceptance and it must be absolute. It must be certain and unconditional. Condition should not be there whenever he is accepting. Okay, whenever offeree accepts, he should not put any conditions in acceptance. He has to accept the offer as it is. Okay, he has to accept the original offer. He should not make any variations, any alterations, any changes to the offer that is made by the offerer. Okay, if any changes are made and if any conditions are there, and then we cannot call it as that as a valid acceptance. So offeree has to accept the offer as it is. Okay, he has to accept the original offer and he should not make any variations. He should not change the offer and he should not make any alterations. Okay, and he should not put any conditions. Then only it is a valid offer. If any conditions, any alterations are there, it is invalid acceptance. So acceptance must be absolute and unconditional. Let us see one example. M is one person. He offered to sell his pen to N. So M is one party. He is offering. So we can call M as a offerer. So M is offering to sell his pen to N. So N is offeree because offer is made to N. So N is a offeree, and M wanted to sell his pen for rupees 5. And what N did? Actually N has to accept. N replied that he is accepting to pay rupees 4 for each pen. So he is saying that he is going to accept to pay how many rupees? 4 rupees for each pen. But actually M offered to sell his pen for 5 rupees. Here N is making some alterations to the price. He is changing the price. Can he do like that? No, he should not do like that. He should not make any changes for the offer. If he makes any changes and if he accepts that, it is not a valid acceptance. So here he is changing the price and he is saying that he is going to accept it for 4 rupees. So here M did not offer it for 4 rupees. He offered it for 5 rupees. So N has to accept it for 5 rupees only. He should not change it. Okay, he should not alter it. Here he is altering. So this is not a valid acceptance. Here N is making alterations for the price. So it is not a valid acceptance. Hope this is clear for everyone. Let us go to next point. And second element for a valid acceptance is acceptance must be communicated to the offerer. So whenever offeree is accepting, he has to communicate his acceptance to the offerer. Okay, otherwise offerer does not know whether offeree is accepting or not. That is why offeree has to accept. Whenever he accepts, he has to communicate his acceptance, his consent to the offerer. Okay, so otherwise it is not treated as a valid acceptance. He has to communicate it. Hope this is clear. Then only it becomes a valid acceptance. If he remains silent, if offeree remains silent, then we cannot treat that as a acceptance. Silence never be treated as a acceptance. He has to speak, he has to say, he has to communicate about his acceptance to the offerer. Then only it becomes a valid acceptance. Hope this is clear to everyone. Let us move to third point. Acceptance must be made within a reasonable time. Acceptance should be given by the offeree within a reasonable time. So here acceptance will be valid only if he gives that acceptance, or if he communicates the acceptance within the time given by the offerer. So offerer gives some time to accept, then within that time period offeree has to accept that. So after the lapsation of the time period, if offeree accepts, then that is not a valid acceptance. So within the time period which is mentioned by the offerer, offeree has to accept it. Then only it becomes a valid acceptance. Suppose if no time is mentioned at the time of making the offer by the offerer, then offeree has to accept it within a reasonable time. Okay, so within a reasonable time he has to accept it. Then only it will be treated as a valid acceptance. Let us move to next point. It must be according to the mode prescribed, or usual or reasonable mode. So acceptance should be given by the offeree in whatever mode that is mentioned by the offerer. So at the time of making the offer, offerer sometimes mentions that the acceptance should be given in a particular mode only. He prescribes it in the offer. Then offeree has to accept it in that prescribed mode only. Then only it is a valid acceptance. If offeree is not accepting in the prescribed mode, then offerer need not to treat it that he is accepting. So suppose any mode is not indicated, then in a usual mode, reasonable mode, he has to give his acceptance. So let us take one example here. A is offering to sell his car to B. Here A is one party, he is offering. So we can call A as a offerer. So A is offering to sell his car to B. So B is offeree because offer is made to B. Okay, to whom the offer is given, offer is made to B. So that is why we can call B as a offeree. For rupees 2 lakhs. So A wanted to sell for 2 lakhs. Okay, it's fine. And indicated in the offer to give his acceptance through mail. So he specified in the offer. Who specified? A specified. Offerer specified in the offer that B has to acceptor means B. B has to accept only through mail. So here mode is mentioned. Mode is prescribed in the offer. So B has to accept only through mail. If he accepts in another mode, that is not valid. So here what happened? But B accepted personally. So he accepted personally, communicated personally about his acceptance. So it is not a valid acceptance because mode is prescribed in the offer. So offeree has to accept it in that mode only. Okay, if he accepts in any other mode, then it will not become a valid acceptance. If suppose A is not mentioning, then B can accept it in any way in a reasonable mode. So clear? Hope this is clear for everyone. So let us go to next point. Fifth one, the acceptor. Acceptor means offeree. Acceptor means the one who is going to accept it. Who will accept the offer? Offeree. Offeree, acceptor, both are same. The acceptor must be aware of the proposal. Proposal means offer. At the time of offer. Okay. So here acceptor, whenever he is going to accept, he must be aware of the offer first of all. So acceptor, without having any knowledge about the offer, he cannot give his acceptance. So he must know about the offer. He must be aware of the offer before accepting it. Then only it becomes a valid acceptance. And without having knowledge and without knowing about the offer, he cannot accept it. And if he do like that, then it is not treated as a valid acceptance. So whenever offeree or acceptor is going to accept, then he must be aware of the offer before accepting it. Then only it becomes a valid acceptance. Hope this is clear for everyone. Let us move to next point, that is sixth one. Acceptance must be given before the offer lapses or before the offer is revoked. Revoked means cancelled. So acceptance must be given by the offeree before offer lapses. So before offer is going to come to an end, this acceptance should be given. If suppose offerer has mentioned some time period in the while making offer, and acceptance should be given within the stipulated time, otherwise offer gets lapsed. Then after lapsation of the offer, acceptance should not be given. He cannot accept it. So acceptance must be given before the offer gets lapsed, okay, or before the offer is revoked means cancelled. So before the time period that is mentioned in the offer for the acceptance. So before the time period, acceptance should be given by the offeree. Or sometimes offerer may revoke the offer also, means he may cancel the offer. So before cancelling, acceptance should be given by the offeree. Then only it becomes a valid acceptance. If suppose offerer revoked it before giving acceptance, then that actually we can say that here offer cancelled, then he cannot accept, that party offeree cannot accept it because there is no offer. Offer was actually revoked here. He cancelled, offerer cancelled the offer, so offeree cannot accept it. So he can accept only before the time period, before offer lapses or before the offer is revoked. So before the offer is cancelled by the offerer, he has to accept it. After cancelling, he can't accept it. Hope this is clear. Let us go to next one. So this is a last element in essential elements of a valid acceptance. Let us discuss what is this. Acceptance cannot be implied from silence. So acceptance cannot be implied from silence. If offeree remains silent, we cannot treat it as that he accepted the offer. Silence never be treated as that he accepted. Okay, so offer is made and offer is just remaining silent. He is not saying anything, whether he is accepting or not. He is not saying anything. He is remaining calm. So silence is not treated as that he accepted the offer. Okay, offeree has to communicate. Then only it is a valid acceptance. If it remains silence, no, then that is not treated as a valid acceptance. Okay, if really he is accepting, he has to communicate. He should not remain silent. If he remains silent, then silence is not treated as that he accepted the offer. Hope this is clear, because no contract is formed if the offer remains silent. Okay, so that is why he has to communicate it. Hope this is clear for everyone. So if you understand it, comment in the comment section that you understood, and hope you like this, you understood. And if you understand this, then you like the video, share the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.